An Okanogan County man has been arrested in Iowa for allegedly killing a baby. The next steps in the case tonight.
A little less fog in the coming days as temperatures climb to near 50 degrees, but by the weekend we're talking rain.
Idaho Governor Brad Little was in North Idaho today to highlight his Enduring Idaho plan. What he had to say coming up. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. New court documents released this week explain what happened the night a 3-month-old was killed in Okanogan County. Deputies arrested the boy's father for the murder last week. KREM 2's Christian Garza has been following this case and shares the details tonight. Christian?
Well, that suspect has been identified as Mickey Wheatley. Now, tonight, he is still in Hardin County, Iowa, waiting extradition back to Okanogan County. Documents show this murder happened back in Tonasket almost 3 years ago. An arrest warrant wasn't officially signed until fall of this year. Initial reports say Mickey Wheatley and the girl's mother arrived at a local hospital after finding their baby unresponsive. The baby was then life-flighted to Spokane, where she later died. Her autopsy confirms she died from brain hemorrhaging and brain swelling, which correlates with shaken baby syndrome, where abusive head trauma is caused by violent repetitive acceleration and deceleration forces to the head. The documents say on the morning of the murder, the baby was inside of the house napping on a recliner alone, while the child's mother and the suspect were outside of the house painting the wheels of Wheatley's truck. She says Wheatley was the only other person on the property and repeatedly went inside the house alone to check on the baby. That is until he came out holding the baby, saying that something was wrong. At the hospital, investigators say Wheatley's story constantly changed about what happened that morning. Throughout the next year, investigators would question the baby's mother. In the fall of 2024, Wheatley moved out of the state unexpectedly, according to court documents. He also told the baby's mother that he couldn't return to the state because he could not afford to. Documents say based on the totality of circumstance, probable cause was determined for Wheatley's arrest as the person who killed the baby. Okanogan County Sheriff's Office says Wheatley is facing murder charges when he gets back into Washington. In the newsroom, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
All right, Christian, thank you. The family of an unarmed Shoshone Paiute man who was shot and killed by Bureau of Indian Affairs officers back in 2024 has filed a lawsuit over his death. That incident happened in southeastern Idaho. The lawsuit accuses 2 unnamed officers of chasing Cody Whiterock outside their jurisdiction before shooting him multiple times in the face, back, and chest. The lawsuit also alleges the officers falsified or withheld evidence to escape accountability. The agency has not identified the officers and has declined to comment on the lawsuit. Covering North Idaho today, Governor Brad Little visited Coeur d'Alene to talk about his legislative priorities for 2026. KREM 2's Regan Gallo is live in Coeur d'Alene tonight. So, Regan, what did the governor have to say?
Well, Mark, since Idaho's legislative session has taken off, Governor Brad Little talks about today his Enduring Idaho 2026 plan. One of those main points in his plan is to strengthen the state's financial position. Now, he stresses he wants to strengthen the state's finances, and he explains that Idaho's spending has stayed steady over the past 20 years. However, the state faces a big challenge. Idaho expects a $50 million budget shortfall in 2026 and over $500 million by 2027. Now, we recently reported the state will cut agency budgets by 3%. That was actually implemented last August, but Governor Little today told me it's a tough balance. He stressed the need to remain financially responsible while supporting what matters most.
If it's going to grow, I've got to have the services needed, public safety services, education services, roads, all those things that are the proper role of government. We have to fund those things with an increasing populations.
Now, Little also discussed in his budget includes roughly $1 billion over the next 5 years to support rural health care. He continues to oppose Medicaid expansion, and he stressed the need for public safety funding amid Idaho State Police staffing shortages and population growth. Now, I also asked Governor Little today about a possible 2% cut to education funding, public education funding. Now, public education has been a main priority for him to continue to support. When I asked him about this possible cut, he says he believes legislature is now dialing that back. For now, I'm reporting in Coeur d'Alene, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
All right, Regan, thank you very much. Also in North Idaho, Coeur d'Alene City Council members agreed to appoint former Post Falls Mayor Ron Jacobson to the position of interim city administrator. Our news partners over at the Coeur d'Alene Press reported that council voted in a 4-2 decision to approve Jacobson. He is set to begin the interim role on the 13th. The current city administrator, Troy Tymason, is set to retire on the 20th after 25 years. According to the CDA Press, Jacobson's role is expected to pay $14,500 with no medical or retirement benefits. Mayor Gookin said this salary will save the city more than $3,000 a month. All right, let's talk weather right now with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, I don't know if you saw, but the backdrop to Regan's live shot in Coeur d'Alene, well, you have a similar one behind you. Just a stunning sunset tonight.
Mark, not even just there, but check out over the top of the weather screen. It's happening everywhere. It's a beautiful one out here. Regan, for reference, was just on the other side of Tubbs Hill, so a beautiful evening out there. Temperatures still sit in the mid to upper 40s. I'm out here not wearing a coat, and I am perfectly comfortable. Temperatures are going to drop quick with those clearing skies overhead. And looking up, I see a couple of mammatus clouds, which is a sign of sinking in the atmosphere, cooling, if you will. So temperatures are falling. Overnight, we're going to fall back down near freezing and then get another round of patchy fog. That fog doesn't look to be as widespread as the past couple of mornings, and once again, will move out by the middle of the day. So for us, I don't necessarily think we're in the fog because I look around on the ground and there's no real moisture, even less than what we saw yesterday. So as we dry out, we see more sun. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and 49 degrees. Friday's a different kind of partly cloudy and 46 degrees. By the weekend, clouds build, rain returns, and temperatures stay mild, near 50 both Saturday and Sunday with widespread rain in the forecast.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. And don't go anywhere. We still have more news to cover here on KREM 2 News at 5.
What bigger platform is there than the Super Bowl? I don't think there's a bigger one.
Former Washington State offensive lineman Abe Lucas is representing the Cougs on the NFL's biggest stage in the Super Bowl. More on how he's also representing his former teammates' legacy coming up in about 3 minutes.